Hello everybody, I am the voice Craig Anderson, and you're listening to Dirt Sheet Mania, episode 6. Hello everybody, I am the voice Craig Anderson, and this is Dirt Sheet Mania. Alongside, as always, I have got the director of creativity. He can create so you can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hey Kieran.
Hello Craig, good morning, good evening, good night. No, in case I can't see you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the one. That's a great movie.
And it doesn't matter what time of the day it is.
They should remake The Truman Show with someone like
It's very
modern.
good.
It's a very good film.
Guys, we're here to talk about this week's Monday Night Raw Smackdown Live, as well as the comings and goings on in the world of pro wrestling. There's a lot to get through this week, actually, as always in the world of WWE. We're going to start, as always, with Monday Night Raw. And Kieran, we open the show with, the match that we thought was going to happen at WrestleMania, and now it's going to happen. We'll talk you through what happened, but we start with Kurt Angle in the ring. Kurt is out and he wants Hunter. He wants Triple H in that ring. He's had enough, and he references Survivor Series, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about because he should do. He references, last week on Raw when he punched him. He wants blood, and I tell you what, Kieran, was it obvious? But it was very obvious to me that Stephanie was going to come out first here.
I think it was obvious. We predicted this in the problem with WrestleMania, or this year's WrestleMania, the video out now on YouTube for people to see.
Is it out now?
It's out now.
It is out now.
It is out now.
Congrats, there we go. It's a brilliant watch.
Yeah, we predicted that was the most likely match for Ronda.
Not a title match.
No.
And
but
Stephanie states that
stipulated in her contract that she signed.
Mm-hmm.
This was. I think this was good. I think it was obvious that Stephanie was going to come out. She obviously played up to the fact that Triple H wasn't backstage. And
she said that.
Then Ronda comes out.
Ronda comes out
with a smile on her face this week.
This week she was back to all smiley, happy Ronda. Because of the situation, I thought she should have been a bit more serious. But as we know that later on, even in this segment alone, she has that switch. Yeah, she can be super serious, Ronda.
You can tell she's happy to be there. Of course, she's going to be. She's been a fan all her life. This is playing out dreams and things like that.
Yeah, this isn't somebody that's just come from the UFC for a payday. She was a wrestling fan as a little girl, and for some reason or whatever she went to UFC. But this is someone that loves wrestling. Yeah, and you can tell that she looks nervous as hell.
She still does. The promo still needs a bit of work, but there's a lot of people that still can't cut a promo and they've had 10 years in the business.
You raised a good point. How did you feel when Ronda officially made her choice to face Stephanie at WrestleMania?
Yeah, she went a bit quick, and I don't think it helped with Stephanie being a bit laughy jokey, saying, shall we add a drum roll?
Without knowing exactly what this, I mean, Stephanie and the hierarchy of WWE, I suppose when they're given a promo, what promo they're going to do, they know roughly. I don't think they have it word for word.
Yeah.
Unlike some of the rest of the talent, but I think without knowing, it's completely me guessing. I would say that if anybody goes off script more, it's probably Stephanie.
Yeah.
I think someone like her or Cena, because they're extremely confident on the mic, and having a very, very new talent in the ring like Ronda, you need almost someone to be, this is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think it was almost Stephanie trying to get Ronda to hold her hand through the promo and say, look, this. But I just don't think
she went off too much.
Yeah, she did, and I don't think it helped. I mean, it didn't need a drum roll. I don't know why they did.
I thought they were going to do it from the truck.
Yeah,
that's where I thought it was coming from.
Yeah, and it's like she's gone. Oh, actually, no, it's like on the fly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Which Ronda doesn't need right now.
Yeah, can we just add a drum roll? And obviously, a second into the drum roll, no wait in. Ronda goes, she goes, you. You?
Just you.
Yeah, just
you.
And obviously the drum roll drowned it out. I don't think she talked into the mic, or the mic didn't pick up what she was saying.
If you look at Stephanie and Kurt holding the mic, even Triple H, and then you look at Ronda holding the mic, it's twice as far away from her face.
If you're not used to holding a microphone, you're not going to know, are you?
I mean, never if she had post-match interviews in the UFC, she didn't hold the mic.
Yeah.
Someone else hold it for her.
Poked in her face.
Just as it looks like that Ronda was about to go through Stephanie, Triple H comes out. Lo and behold, Kurt is back in ready for this brawl. Hunter's basically telling Kurt to do his job. Put your ego away. Come on, get on with it. Stop being an idiot, basically. And Kurt calls him out on his lies, basically, and says you need to get on with your work. You need to get on with your life. Kurt's like, I've had enough of this, and he officially, as the general manager of Monday Night, we can make matches at WrestleMania. I didn't necessarily like the way he went around this one with saying that Triple H and Stephanie had 2 contracts. Like, obviously Triple H does. Yeah. And for those that can remember a couple of years ago, the last match Stephanie had, I think, was against Brie Bella at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So maybe the only singles match she's ever had, Stephanie. In the modern era, she had the back in the Attitude Era.
Had quite a few. Yeah.
So I think that's maybe more of a Stephanie's got 2 contracts, but the Hunter one, come on.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
He wrestled at Survivor Series, for Christ's sake.
At least they alluded to that. Like, I think it was the case of. Obviously, Triple H said that we're executives, we can't wrestle. But
do you remember the last person to do that?
No.
Stone Cold to Vince.
Okay.
Saying he had 2 contracts. Here's Vince McMahon, the CEO, but I pulled out another one. I think it was when they made the King of the Ring ladder match, 2-on-1 for the control of the WWF. Austin versus Shane and Vince.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
I think so. But yeah, I do like that, and it's different. But to say Triple H has two contracts is a bit.
But they announced the match early, which I suppose is what they want to do because
hype.
Yeah, that's the thing. They need to hype this one because it is Ronda. This is mainstream, ESPN, BBC over here, everything like that. They're gonna pick this stuff up.
Kieran, let me ask you. Right now, we are 5 weeks removed from WrestleMania, or 5 weeks to WrestleMania, I should say. How much pressure is on Ronda Rousey?
I don't think there'll be much.
Really?
I think she can cope with. It's not going to be a bona fide wrestling match. Kurt and Triple H will have that. Stephanie and Ronda will be a case of Ronda's trying to get Steph. Steph sort of beats down Ronda while she's on the floor, and then Ronda just gets that. She does an armbar. She does the armbar finish she does in UFC.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a case of that. It'll be very much like the Cena Nikki versus Miz and Maurice match from last year's Mania. Well, it will be a show. It won't be a match. It'll be a show.
I think you just need to look at the mixed match challenge for a taste of what this will be like at WrestleMania. But we did get a taste because we had I thought a very well choreographed brawl to finish this. Ronda was involved in the right amount. Stephanie was involved in the right amount. Kurt came out the strongest, I think, from this little brawl here. Whopping on the ankle lock on Triple H. Triple H's selling is fantastic as usual.
Kurt needed to come out looking good in this because you're seeing Kurt the general manager. This is Kurt the wrestler.
When he took that jacket off, the pop was outrageous. Because I don't think we've seen him get physical on a Raw, have we? We've seen him wrestle with the Shield. Yeah. We've seen him in Survivor Series. We've seen him doing bits and pieces. We haven't actually seen him on Raw get physical. And I think that's the first time since he returned.
Possibly.
I think since last year, he's been back a year now.
The Smackdown when they done the whole invasion thing, they or Under Siege as it was.
Under Siege.
They didn't beat Kurt down.
No, they didn't touch Kurt. No.
Until obviously Kurt got added to the match.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the match is announced. Then they had obviously the brawl was the antithesis of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I liked the fact there was a brawl. I thought, especially with Ronda doing a Samoan drop. I think it was a Samoan drop. I think it was a bit. I don't know.
Afterwards, it was one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's how it started.
No. I thought when she had her up, I was like, oh, F5.
Oh, really? Okay. It definitely wasn't an F5.
But yeah, I don't know if I like so much Ronda getting to Steph this way. I think for 5 weeks they should have had Steph just running away from Ronda, being scared.
One up,
and just saying you can't touch me, and all that stuff. So bit disappointed that they've done this now. Maybe they could have done it the week before Mania to just say, look, the match is Sunday and there's a big brawl, get people excited for it.
I know what you're saying, but for me, they couldn't have a match like this magnitude announced 1 week before WrestleMania, which would be 6 days.
No, not the match announced.
The brawl.
But the brawl.
Contract signing, brawl. Yeah. Okay, no, I see that. Get people kind of, and there's a little taster.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see what we've got for the weeks to come. Maybe Ronda will wrestle on Raw.
I don't see that.
No?
No.
She's been on Raw more than Brock, though, lately, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has indeed.
Really good. We move on, ladies and gentlemen, to Asuka getting a rematch against Nia Jax. Again, these two do have chemistry, there's no doubt about it. And they put on a very physical, very demanding match, which eventually did result in Nia tapping. Eventually, it was one of those. She was in that submission for a good minute, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't like slap on.
I think it's very reminiscent of their NXT match that they had at
London.
Was it Takeover London?
I want to say London.
It was Takeover London, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
Or was it? No, Bailey. No, Bailey faced Jax at Takeover London because Bailey had the crowd singing "You Want to Be Our Girl."
It was the one after. Whenever Asuka won the title.
Yeah, it was one of the NXT takeovers.
Okay.
But yeah, very reminiscent for that. Nia Jax is obviously going to be slow because she's the bigger woman in this match, and so she's not going to be doing all these high flying moves and
it's a methodical, stalking kind of pace.
But that's styles make matches. That's what they say, and this is exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Asuka's got to kick the hell out of Nia Jax, and Nia's got to stand there, take it, and do the powerful moves.
To use the analogy, for lack of a better phrase, it's almost like Asuka has to chop the tree down.
Yeah.
The smaller one has to chop the bigger one down to beat the bigger one. It's like Daniel Bryan wrestling the Big Show. You can't beat him through strength. He's going to have to beat him through speed, through tactics, through agility, through technical submission. Really good match. We do see a segment later on, which we'll talk about right now, where Asuka is back, Nia is backstage. She's a little upset, and Alexa Bliss comes in and takes a seat.
Yeah. Alexa is so good, and this was savage, like proper going into her, like and causing Nia to cry. While Nia's been portrayed as a monster, ultimately what people see of Nia is that she's sweet, like she's this sweet innocent girl. This body positive thing. Is very babyface and.
You're right, actually. The amount of things she does portray, especially on social media, being a bigger girl was fine. Don't be scared, don't be ashamed of anything. Don't listen to the haters. She's a really good babyface.
Yeah,
she really would be.
And she almost reminds me of Big Show. How Big Show,
not as a babyface.
But Big Show as a babyface could smile, could be happy.
Like that. Yeah, okay, no, I'm with you.
But when he was heel, he could be vicious. He could be that. Nia Jax for me has always been maybe a bit too smiley sometimes. She's a gorgeous girl. But when she smiles, it's not that monster you want to see, is it?
No.
Whereas Braun Strowman, unless he's doing a comedy routine, when he's like serious and he's beating someone up, you can see the seriousness.
He's up for blood.
Yeah,
he's up for blood. But yeah, Alexa Bliss is absolutely savage with this.
Yeah,
she is both. In a completely constructive way, destroys her. But for me now, if nothing more will happen from this, I can absolutely see Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, and I think
which is what we said.
Yeah, obviously we'll do our Fastlane preview.
We will
be out on Friday.
There will be,
and we'll probably see the first signs of Charlotte versus Asuka again, which we predicted on the problem of this year's WrestleMania.
I love the fact that everyone on WWE television, commentators, announcers, website, everyone is pointing towards assuming Asuka will face Alexa Bliss on WrestleMania. So no, that'd be good. We'll look forward to that. Doing that Friday, Fastlane preview show. We move on. The Bar versus the Revival. Little stipulation: if the Revival beat the Bar on Monday Night Raw, they will get a title shot at WrestleMania. So huge. The Bar, opportunity they've wanted, they've needed, they've craved since the moment they came in. They've had injuries. They've never been able to get out of the blocks. What happened in this match, Kieran?
What did happen in this match? It wasn't long enough.
It really wasn't.
It wasn't. It was almost like a glorified jobber team at that point. We all know what the Revival can do. If you've watched NXT, they're tremendous. The matches that Revival had against DIY, phenomenal,
just superb. If you've never seen, if you guys have never seen that, go and check them out. Even the matches they had against Enzo and Cass, the matches they had against American Alpha, matches they had against
even Authors of Pain,
even Heels versus Heels. You need to go and check this out, guys. Go and check out some NXT takeovers.
They're amazing, and I think this is Vince McMahon. Maybe Vince McMahon doesn't feel high enough about them because they're just technically generic old school wrestlers, whereas Triple H, obviously because he brought them up from NXT and and made the gimmick and everything like that, he's obviously going to be more behind them.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate
that they feel this way about them right now, but hopefully, given time, they'll become better.
And if you can't tell, they lost.
Yeah,
they lost quite quickly.
They
lost quite quickly at Monday Night Raw to the Bar, and since then, the Bar have issued an open challenge at WrestleMania. An open challenge. Any tag team. Okay, it won't be the Young Bucks, despite what you see on Twitter.
It'd be good if it was the Young
Can you
Bucks.
imagine?
I mean, you could I'm not.
New Japan and WWF and Ring of Honor have to get even more friendlier than they already are.
Yeah.
But you have a pretty good idea of who this might be.
So, there's obviously a lot of speculation.
Yes.
There's one that I would like, but it depends what the tag team picture looks like on SmackDown. I'd like it to be Bar versus Usos. I think that's getting both tag teams on the show.
The way I think we saw in our WrestleMania preview show, I think was either a 4-way for both titles or Bar versus Usos, which the way they're booking it could be Bar versus Usos. But open challenge would suggest that they've got more for them.
Yeah, so an idea for an open challenge that I can think of is possibly, and they are in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, which has been recorded. I've not seen the results on NXT.
Starts tonight, I believe.
I think it starts tonight. So Authors of Pain, I think, are more than likely going to get the call up. They're sort of trading water in NXT at the moment.
Well, they've done it all.
They've done it all. They've won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. They won the tag team titles. They lost it, but they haven't really done much since then. They've just been hovering around in the background.
For me, they get to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which is on the Saturday night, the night before, and then they wrestle on WrestleMania.
I think so. I think that's more likely.
Happened a few talent. Sami Zayn's done it?
I don't know. Sami Zayn done it. I don't know how big of a pop they get, because they're not...
They've been heels for the most part.
Yeah.
They kind of still are heels.
WrestleMania is always like quite a smarky crowd, obviously. I know you're going to say, I'd say about 80% of people are going to know who they are, but I don't know how much they'll get. I think they'll get a big, massive pop.
WrestleMania brings out.
They'll have a great little entrance as well, like with the masks that they have on, and obviously the tactical gear.
And for WrestleMania, there probably will be pyro.
Yeah,
I imagine.
Yeah,
WrestleMania always brings out two types.
I think they've said there will be pyro at WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope there is.
Could you
fireworks, but no promo? It's stupid. Yeah. For me, WrestleMania brings out two types of fans. One, I used to like it and I'm going to watch it because it's WrestleMania. A bit like in American football where people watch the Super Bowl. A bit like in English football, soccer where people watch the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
You kind of watch it. It's the main attraction of the season. You might entice a few fans. So you either get the people that used to like it or the people that have never watched it, or the people that love it and they watch it every single week. NXT, Raw, SmackDown, the whole lot. So Authors of Pain, I think, is a great shout.
It could be anyone else. It could be the Dudley Boys. Obviously, they're going into the Hall of Fame.
No, it won't be the Dudley Boys.
But as a one-off,
we'll have to have a WrestleMania preview show soon. Yeah, but that'll happen very soon.
Yeah, but a one-off match at WrestleMania, they're going to be backstage. Why not? Big pop from the crowd. WrestleMania,
but it has to be believable. They're never going to win.
It's an open challenge.
As long as it's not like the NXT first takeover when Tuchel came out.
But that's in essence what it could be. It could be just the Dudley Boys. It's a pop,
Do you know what? It's an open challenge, but does that mean that only one team has to answer?
Well, it could be 10.
It could be. Oh, don't. Gauntlet match.
Maybe the Nexus return.
We will see. Wash your mouth out, young man. We will see who answers that. So, our next segment is a combined Raw and SmackDown segment. And you might be thinking, Craig, what are you talking about? Well, John Cena...
down the brand split.
Watering it down to the point where you've put a little bit of orange juice dilute in and you've put too much water in and it doesn't taste of anything. It just tastes of
exactly.
Which is what this next segment was. So Cena come out and you think, okay, Cena's here. Why is he here? Okay, let's remind ourselves where he is, Kieran. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that he keeps saying he's the only one because I think The Undertaker's a free agent as well.
But obviously...
He's retired. Kieran's doing it.
I mean, Heath Slater was free agent once and he didn't get this freedom to go from both shows. And
he did get a bigger pop though.
Yeah.
Well, ish. And
more people cheering for him.
Yeah, just a bit. And anyway, so Cena comes out. He's in the SmackDown main event. If you're completely under a rock and you've forgotten about that, at Fastlane this Sunday. We'll do our show on Friday for a pre-show. And you're thinking, why is he here and not on Surely he's going to be on both shows this week. Spoiler, he's not on SmackDown.
No.
He's not there.
No.
They have quite a few matches which he could be involved in. He's not on any of them.
No.
He's not there. So he's on Raw. So logically, in his theory and kayfabe terms, it's a good decision for Cena to be on Raw because he says he can cut the promo without the other 5 guys in the match coming out, getting involved, and
makes logical sense.
Logical sense.
He wants to get his point out there, and usually in WWE, every time,
but
you get interrupted.
But SmackDown's the go-home show.
Yeah.
Why is he not there?
Yeah.
Anyway, tell the boys and girls what the hell happened next.
Well, weirdly,
Very weirdly.
you know, talking of getting interrupted, obviously he needs to get interrupted by a Raw talent, but something we've never seen before.
Never. In 16 years.
In 16 years. Goldust comes out and cuts a very weird promo, but that's just the thing he's doing at the moment. He's trying to go back to what he was when he first debuted. You know,
I didn't know if he really liked him or he wanted to kick his head in.
It's almost like a ramble, weren't it? But
incoherent.
You know, Goldust we know can put on a hell of a match, even to this day. You know, you look about what 5 years ago, Battleground when he tagged with Cody and won the tag titles against the Shield.
Superb.
Yeah, it was a great
Superb.
match.
That was for them to get their contracts back and then tag titles.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and then obviously Goldust has been helped training the women wrestlers as well.
No, he has.
You know,
sort of a Finley role now, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's got that. So we all know he can do it. So he's facing John Cena, and you would have thought how long Cena's have been around, how long Goldust has been around. Obviously, Goldust has been in and out of WWE, but obviously this latest stint is probably his longest stint he's been with them.
Especially since probably the mid-90s, I'd say.
Yeah. They've never faced each other.
Never, not even in a one-off throwaway, you guys go out there tonight. Yeah. So, interesting match. One spot I did like, although the commentators never referred to it as the Ric Flair spot, which it was, where he had Cena near those sort of ropes, and the referee was sort of looking to the ring bell to say no, he doesn't give up, and he gave him the little leg between the knee between the legs, which is the Ric Flair spot.
Yeah.
Obviously Cena wins, but Cena straight one AA, no roll throughs, You know, I wasn't sure if once the match got going, I thought, will Cena make a bit of a statement and just show a little bit more of an aggression side? But
yeah, but you know, the thing is with Cena, he's more about respect, isn't he? He obviously respects Goldust.
Although during Goldust promo, he looked extremely confused.
Yeah, but I would be as well. If I was standing in the ring, I'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about, mate?"
No, absolutely. Bayley versus Mandy Rose was next.
Bayley wins.
Let's not bullshit you.
Nothing major here.
Nothing major. Nothing to see here. Literally, the only thing to know is that after the match, when the rest of Absolution got in the ring, even Paige, why is she bothered? I don't know.
She got in the ring
and then got out of the ring. Didn't do it.
Doesn't make sense.
She yelled at the ref though. Poor ref. It's the only thing she can do. She points and yells.
This is the thing. Like we'll talk about this. I think on that in Smackdown about what happened on Smackdown. With someone interrupting, but like, why would you not just go beat Paige up? Because, she's got a neck injury, but who cares? You know, just get her out the ring.
Kayfabe terms.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's one of these wrestling things.
She should just not get in the ring.
It's like, why would you not hit Daniel Bryan?
There's
nothing stopping you from hitting
nothing stopping you from hitting Bryan.
But
why? Yeah, no, yeah, ugh. Yeah. Just don't have her in the line of fire. No. Have her there because she needs to be there. Because those two need help.
She needs to be more of. I think they need to use her more as a mouthpiece. I don't think they're using her enough. Look, she's not going to wrestle.
No.
But she.
The problem is we talk about this every single week.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't matter what we talk about. This is going to be a problem. Sasha Banks runs out to make the save for Bayley. And then when Sasha goes for like a handshake, hug, Bayley says no and walks off. And
I thought at this point this would be the point when Sasha turns on Bayley.
When she just decks her.
Yeah, goes to give her a hug and then, you know.
But
maybe Bayley thought...
Bayley turns around, starts to walk out the ring and then Sasha just decks her and beats the crap out of her.
Yeah, something like that. Or, you know, but maybe...
So do you think what they're doing is they're saying Bayley's going to be a heel, Bayley's going to be a heel, Bayley's going to be a heel, and then bang, Sasha's a heel?
Sasha turns because she doesn't like the fact that Bayley's getting all this attention for doing that. Because I think that's what Sasha's character is, isn't it? She's the boss. She's meant to be the one that everyone looks up to, and everything like that. So maybe you know that's what I think. That's what I think happened.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Match at Mania?
I think it gets there.
Cool.
I think.
I hope it does.
Yeah. The women's evolution or revolution needs to have more than two title matches.
And a superstar in a tag match.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Elias and Braun Strowman.
In a Symphonies of Destruction match.
I'm glad you remembered that, what it was called, because I couldn't. For the first part, it was just Elias doing his own little concert. which did go on a little bit too long, I thought. He then asked for his...
Elias, who cares?
Well,
That's
no.
what WWE stands for.
Yeah, no, very true. He then asked for his proper introduction. Very, very cleverly used that to escape. Got out to the back, and then Braun was holding the bumper of the car.
Yeah, it's brilliant. More like comedy, like cartoon comedy in it. It's very
Wile E. Coyote kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of thing. I loved it. You know, these two characters are why the brand split works. Not to say that Braun wouldn't be if
Elias wouldn't know. I don't think.
Elias. Definitely.
Would you tell me Elias would be in Elimination Chamber? I don't think.
When
he would
we
be.
first saw Elias turn up
On NXT? Or in the main roster?
When he turned up on Raw. I think was it after last year's Mania?
Because that was when all he did, do you remember?
Turn up.
No one announced he was there.
Yeah,
I mean, I hated how that brand split was done anyway, or the draft was done, because people just showed up.
Yeah.
There was no, who do you want for this person, or, and now appearing on Raw is, ding! It was just their hit. And Elias was running around the commentary booth in the middle of another match. Yeah. That was all he did.
The drifter, but he's not the drifter anymore, is he? No. He's just Elias.
He is... He's so much more.
He is a superstar now.
Do you remember what Triple H? I don't know if you've heard this. What Triple H when he said about Elias Sampson when he first got to NXT is that this guy's made for the main roster.
Yeah.
Some of them are made for the main roster. Some of them will take a bit of work and a bit of tweaking. He said Elias would be built for the main roster.
He's got the look. He's built. He's not like
he's really built, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's definitely He's definitely worked on that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's for me, Elias is one of those all-round packages, and I think I don't know what will happen to him between now and WrestleMania. Rumors about what's going to happen to him and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania, but if he doesn't involved in a Intercontinental ladder match, then he needs. I think after WrestleMania, I think he needs an Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
just to kind of put him to that next level.
I can see him getting moved to SmackDown.
Yeah,
just add to the
even or US. Yeah. I think he'd be great for SmackDown.
Yeah,
great. So yeah, basically the Symphony of Destruction. I was going to call it Symphony of Orchestra, but that's two different things.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, does it? And yeah, so it is what it is. It's basically a hardcore match with weapons.
Yeah.
And Braun pins him on
musical instruments.
And Braun pins him on the stage.
And why he didn't get the triangle out and bash it off his head, that hurts from experience.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about that?
It's one day at school, triangle to the head.
Oh God.
The guitar wasn't allowed to be smashed.
Could you imagine? That wouldn't be gimmicked either. That'd be real.
No.
Yeah, he did drop the piano on him, but obviously because the Elias rolled to one side, it didn't touch him. I don't think.
No, but it's like when Kane flipped the commentator's table onto Kane. Obviously,
Kane onto Kane.
The commentary table onto Kane. Okay. Yeah, it's the same thing. It didn't obviously fall on Kane.
No, it didn't touch him. No. So yeah, Braun wins. He destroys Elias in this, and we can sort of include these two in what we're about to say in the next two, because Miz is doing the Mizzies, and I kind of
again. But it says the third annual Mizzies, but this has been the third Mizzies in like 6 months.
I love the Miz, I really do.
Yeah.
But this is the first segment for a long time I have thought, okay, I just want this to finish. Because I was bored.
He delivered it well. There's
nothing wrong with that. No.
The fact that they've just gone, it was quite just lazy. It just seemed lazy. They've just had the Oscars, so here's the Mizzies.
Yeah, I don't know when the last one was, but it feels like it was really soon.
Yeah.
Maybe after, I don't know. After the end of the year, maybe? They didn't do the Slammies this year, did they?
They hadn't done the Slammies for a while. There was always talk of them doing the Slammies at WrestleMania, like at the Hall of Fame. But I think that's something that they can do they will do at some point, because obviously they're running.
Now they've got the network.
Now they're running. No, but they're running out of Hall of Fame people to put in. They will at some point.
Start doing award ceremonies.
They might have to do an award ceremony on Friday night.
Personally, I don't want to. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame in a little while, but I think they put too many people in each year. Do 3 or 4. That's it.
Yeah, that's
honestly too many.
More and more people. I'm not saying they're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
No, they're not. But they will get there.
They will get there.
They will get there. We're going to feel old once Cena goes in.
Yeah,
and Randy Orton.
Cena will probably go in as soon as he retires.
He won't retire.
Undertaker will be as well.
Cena won't retire.
He's going to be wrestling when he's 80.
In the main event. He'll be like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We think that Cena could be like the new Undertaker, the new go-to guy to face at WrestleMania.
But the point is, eventually, from the Mizzies, Seth and Finn come out, interrupt him. Kurt makes a 3-on-2 handicap match with the Miz, Taraj and Miz versus Finn and Seth. Obviously, it was what it is, what it was. It wasn't obviously a superb match, but it was just Finn and Seth trying to get one up on each other, and they won. They didn't lose like I thought they might do. Trying to get one up from each other, and Miz sneaks the win. They win from the blackout from Seth, and
who tagged himself in.
Cheeky
Finn
tag.
when Finn was going for the coup de grace.
Great name. Coup de grace. And
or if you're reading that on a bit of paper, coup de grace.
coup de grace. I couldn't spell coup de grace, so coup de grace. Is it French?
Yeah, it's French.
Or French Canadian maybe.
It's French.
And Kurt makes a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Now, the reason I was including Braun and Elias in this as well, because there's been strong rumours that there'll be a 5-way, maybe even more, ladder match for the IC title at WrestleMania. I mean, I'd be delighted to see these two in some sort of tag. I'd be delighted to see these two both in a title match. Don't get me wrong, but and Braun is fantastic, but I don't know. Something just takes away. Leave it as a triple threat, because at the moment WrestleMania is looking like multi-man Mania. Yeah. Apart from that main event with Brock and Roman, every match is looking like a multi-man match, and I don't know if it brings more to it. I just don't think it does.
So Braun and Elias deserve an Intercontinental title match. They deserve to be in this match.
They do. No, they do.
I don't want them to be in this match, because I think the this is perfect triple threat. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and The Miz, all former WWE champions or of some kind. Obviously, Finn was Universal.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They're the epitome of the Intercontinental title, the workhorse title.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Seth is trying to be Monday Night Rollins, and Finn's trying to get one up on Seth.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this. I just hope they don't make it into a multi-man match. We look, fatal 5-way. That's the rumor. It's just too much.
No, so do you think a ladder match?
I hope not.
US or IC normally have a ladder match, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want to see a multi-man match. But then again, it's like, how do you position Braun at Mania if he's not going to be in this triple threat or in this IC match? How do you put him? Where do you put him?
I don't want to say it, but
obviously there's these rumours that there's this film producer that has evidence of Roman Reigns being tied to this steroid allegation.
Well,
I think obviously it's an allegation, but I think maybe they're leaving Braun aside just in case Roman does get implicated in this quite more heavily than that's been said. And then they suddenly go, well, Braun versus Lesnar.
It's a nervous time. Yeah. It depends.
I just think they're holding back a little bit with Braun, and then
it depends when this young man, whoever he is, decides that he wants to come out. Because at the moment he seems to be like, I've got it, mate. If you've got it, go for it. Yeah. But for me, it could be a lot of nothing, because it just seems
it could very well be.
Because it just seems to me at the moment he says, "Oh, look at this," and it's like, "Okay, what you got?" "Oh, I'm not showing you yet." Why not? If you've got it, show us, man. What the hell?
It's just, exactly. It just sort of goes, you don't have it.
But
obviously,
he wants the attention.
There's obviously a lot of allegations in WWE with people and everything at the moment.
Yeah,
there are allegations. Obviously, whether they're true or not, we don't know. It's to speculate. But obviously, if this thing does involve Roman, it could change plans for WrestleMania.
All we know factually is that Roman was suspended 2 years ago.
About that.
When they moved into that Shield triple threat. He was suspended for a month in the run-up to the Ambrose, Seth and Roman triple threat match. And that was that, really. Yeah. So that's the only kind of part of information that us, the fans, kind of can go on that we know about. What exactly this guy, this film producer has, like I say, if you've got some, mate, tell us. It just seems like you're kind of...
I hope it's nothing for Roman's sake, for WWE.
Can you imagine if he does? I mean, the longer this goes on, the more I just think it's
but the whole point of this and what I was talking about is obviously because this may affect what Braun does at Mania, because there's no other main event that will sell or from my eyes, the Universal title than Braun versus Lesnar.
As far as I'm concerned, get Braun in a match. If it's an IC title, fine. If and this is a massive if, things go awry with the way they want to do with Roman, and for some reason or another, whatever happens, that Roman can't compete at WrestleMania, then all you do is have a battle royale or have a 6-pack challenge on Raw. Winner gets a shot at Brock at Mania, and Miz.
I think you just if it happens, you just announce Braun. Just say
maybe he burges into Kurt's office and be like, "I destroyed everyone."
Brock's in the ring with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman demands the challenger, and then Braun comes out. There you go.
Simple as that. So, in a very nice little segue there, Kieran, you've moved on perfectly to the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman is in the ring. He's here. He has the Universal title, which he doesn't always have when he comes on his own.
No.
Cuts an extremely good and passionate promo, says a few cheeky words in this promo.
Yeah.
For all the little boys and girls, he basically says BS, which is you don't have to be too clever to figure that out. And he says the female dog word quite a lot as well.
Yeah, I like that word.
Roman says it a lot as well.
It's impactful. It's an impactful word, and it's not so much a swear word for PG.
So I'm going to read you a quote that Paul Heyman said on Raw. He said, Paul referenced the title as Brock's B, and Roman needs to stop eyeballing Brock's B.
Yeah, he referred to the Universal title as Brock's bitch.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
He did.
Okay, and it's... I don't know. I don't know if I like that. It just... I don't know. It seemed lazy. But when you overuse the same word over and over again, it loses its impactfulness. And like when you hear it once every so often, you're like, oh, hello. You get up out your seat, you're like, oh yeah, this is good. But when you use it over and over again, it doesn't make sense. It's like when you see blood. You know, when you see blood in a match accidentally, it means more.
I mean, they can't blade, so it's the hard way.
But when it's the hard way, it means more. You think, oh, this means more. There's so much more on the line. You know, he's literally bleeding to win this title.
Yeah, but we've been programmed now since the PG era that anytime you hear a swear word or you see blood or something that we used to see back in the 14 era, back in the sort of attitude era, if you want to call it that. We were, oh, that's really cool. And now we don't have it anymore. Whenever we see it, everyone's like, they frigging lose their minds because it's so brilliant.
Until they stop the match because someone's bleeding too much, but
exactly,
that's the worst.
And then they will come crashing down to earth.
Yeah.
Eventually, we do see Roman Reigns come out and him really quickly shuts his gob. Which I love. He completely sells when he's not there. He talks the big game and he's the man. And he calls Roman every single word.
He's up this game in terms of promos for this. I think he's, it helps when you got Paul Heyman in the ring and you can bounce off him and everything like that. But he's short, he's concise, he's sticking to what obviously needs to be said. And because it's a sort of a semi-shoot, so to speak, he can draw on real emotions.
And we can, and he mentioned that maybe one day I'll have to come into this ring, lay the Universal title down, and next to it lay the UFC Heavyweight title down next to it. So it's like Roman cut his promo last week. It's a hell of a lot of realism.
Yeah.
With the fact that Brock is not there, or 2 weeks ago now. The fact that it's a lot of realism with an element of a shoot and with an element of planned. Roman eventually does come out, as we say. Heyman backs down. He picks up the Universal title. And literally Roman's out for about a minute and a half. And then we're done. Yeah. Raw's finished. Roman's in the ring. Eventually, now we do know 100% Brock and Roman Reigns will have a face-off next week on Raw. Yeah. Which will be 4 weeks.
Interesting if he actually turns up. Maybe they do another U-turn and go, no, don't turn up.
Well, Roman
was at the house show in Chicago on Saturday night.
He wrestled for 35 seconds, beat Kane, and the crowd booed the crap out of him.
Yeah. But that's what you got to do if you're trying to make Roman as a super babyface. That's what you got to do, isn't it?
Well, guys, that's Monday Night Raw. We will be talking about our little bridge segment now, so stay tuned, and here it comes. So, Kieran, the bridge segment this week on DSM Wrestling. There's 3 points we're going to talk about this week. The first is the latest inductee to the 2018 class of the Hall of Fame is Hillbilly Jim.
Yes, Hillbilly Jim. It was a great little package for him. I'm not going to sit there and say that I know much about Hillbilly Jim.
No, me neither.
But,
me neither.
The package, I think, said it all. Planting the crowd, Hogan calls him out, trains him up. Hogan featured very heavily, obviously, because he's part of Hillbilly
But they didn't
Jim's.
ignore it, though. I mean, you could have edited it and you could have made it to look like something else. And
I think this is all, again, obviously we'll go on to Hogan quickly, but this is all softening the blow.
Same with Punk, they do it Punk. But as regards to Hillbilly Jim, same, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I've watched so many of his matches, I think he's brilliant. I've watched a couple of the early WrestleManias that he wrestled in.
Yeah.
I've watched, I loved Legends House. He was great in Legends House. Of course, that's not wrestling. He's
a typical 80s wrestler. He's a character. He's Hillbilly Jim.
Well, they were all like Repo Man.
Yeah, things like
Luke
that.
the Dumpster Drop. They were all gimmicks back in the 80s.
Exactly, and this is what it was. And what I've seen on Twitter, he deserves it. I'm sure he does deserve it.
I think he was in one of the video games as well. I remember playing as Hillbilly Jim on a Smackdown.
Probably, the WWE Get One game. Where
it wasn't a 2K
road to WrestleMania, or the WrestleMania where you had a match at every WrestleMania.
It wasn't a 2K because it was before 2K. But yeah, he was on that, and I think that's probably as a child. It was probably one of my first. As a child, I'm 30 now, for Christ's sake, but that's probably one of my first Who's this guy? He looks kind of cool, like big beard, suspenders. I think whatever it is he's wearing. So no, I mean, congratulations to Hillbilly Jim. He's one of the guys that without him there wouldn't be things like this now.
Will they add anyone else to this Hall of Fame class, do you think?
It's a good bunch.
I think it's a good size.
Goldberg,
I think they may add one more. But
Goldberg, Ivory, Dudley's, Jarrett, the Warrior Award.
Yeah.
And that's 6.
Hillbilly Jim, 6. 6, yeah.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice balance.
I think they have 6 every year. But if they added another one, it's fair enough.
They haven't put a...
But who they can put...
Have they put a...
Have a tag team. Usually they like to go one from each, one woman... One tag team. Oh no, Dudley Boys are tag one. Typically, yeah.
I know we see them as one.
Yeah.
A celebrity wing?
Yeah, could be a celebrity one.
Fred Durst?
Oh, Fred Durst, could you imagine? Jesus. Then he'll be playing at WrestleMania.
Did a lot.
Yeah, to be fair.
Did a lot. He's performed at a few Manias.
But then you might as well go, let's put Flo Rida in now.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, okay, no more celebrity wing. It's pretty heavily rumoured. We've both seen it. You even sent me the link, but we've both seen it that after WrestleMania, the WWE will be introducing cruiserweight tag team championships. Now, this isn't confirmed. This is rumours. This is why we're talking about it now, not in the main show. Like for me, if they're going to bring in tag team titles, I would probably prefer them to have Divas women's tag team championships. I've said this for absolutely years now.
But obviously, the problem they have with the women having tag team titles is that the roster's not deep enough,
and they're on 2 different shows. But the cruiserweights. What do you think about this?
So obviously the cruiserweight tag team titles started off in WCW, right? Like literally a month towards the end. It was Elix Skipper and Kid Romeo as the first tag team.
Elix Skipper was in TNA.
Yeah, but Elix Skipper was also in WCW.
What was the Romeo Kid's other name?
I don't know. I'm sure it was Kid Romeo.
Did disappear after that?
Yeah, so they were added at the end of WCW, I think, maybe just to give a little boost, to potential people buying WCW at the time. But in terms of 205 Live, I think this is good. If they're tag team titles. If they're cruiserweight tag team titles, it's almost going to be the same as the junior heavyweight tag team titles in New Japan, right?
Yeah, like the Young Bucks are pretty much.
This is like WWE probably going, oh well, here's the Young Bucks. They think they're all this and everything like that. So here's the cruiserweight tag team. The
thing is, though, whenever I look at the Young Bucks, I don't look at the Young Bucks and go, they're cruiserweight. I know it's absolutely stupid because they are cruiserweights, but I look at the Bucks and I think, I know we joked sort of earlier and we've seen it on social media at the bar. The Bucks want the bar at Mania. That's where I see the Bucks, not on a 205 Live show on a tucked away on the network.
And the thing is, if they got if it's a way to establish more tag teams, and we've both agreed that the tag team divisions on both shows, main shows, are not established enough, then I'm all for it. But you've got the NXT tag titles as well, so you've got 4 different tag team titles. I think that dilutes
saturated
it.
Market.
Yeah, I think it dilutes it a bit too much.
What I would. I mean, down the line, what would be a phenomenal storyline somewhere down the line is for a cruiserweight tag team to go, we want their main tag team titles.
Yeah, and that could happen.
Either on, they are exclusive to Raw. They don't appear on Raw that much. They didn't appear this week.
I think ever since they obviously got Drake Maverick as 205 Live's general manager, that is its own show. Cruiserweights only appear, and
they don't, not always, but more often than not, they're just on 205 Live.
They haven't been on Raw, and I prefer this because it's their own show. That if you want to watch cruiserweight wrestling, you go on their own show. Every now and then, I'd like to see them on Raw to maybe promote a match at a coming pay-per-view. But
I'll say this now: I still don't like the fact that the cruiserweights have their own show. At one stage I thought the women might, but I think on reflection again that wouldn't have been a good decision. I think you need all of them on each show. Not again, but could you have 2 cruiserweight titles, one on Raw, one on SmackDown? I don't know.
So that's almost the problem with the women.
With the women, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if it works. It's like 7 or 8 women. It's saturated. Yeah. It's just a merry-go-round of people. We'll see. Again, this whole 205 Live thing, it's not even that old, is it? It's only, a year or 18 months old, the show?
They're starting to establish it more and more. They're making it into what the Cruiserweight class was. We talked about this before, Triple H being in charge of it. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. I just think adding another tag team title just dilutes the tag team division. It's like you could technically go for it all 4. I still think 205 Live should be recorded at Full Sail University. Get the more hardcore crowd in.
They have gone backwards to go forwards, pretty much. And the last little piece we want to talk about before we move on to SmackDown is a pretty big one, actually, to be honest. So I'll just outline what we've heard. on the internet, and we'll have a little chat about it. So what we've heard is that Spike TV, which is Fox, want Raw back, and they've
not Raw back. Fox have never had Raw. They've never had WWE program.
What was Spike TV though?
Spike TV has nothing to do with Fox.
No, you said okay.
No.
So Fox,
yeah,
want Monday Night Raw.
Want Monday Night Raw,
and
apparently so, because they have the rights to UFC. UFC have monthly shows on Fox,
but they want to make it 2 hours.
Yeah, so
tell everyone then.
The rumor is that if Fox were to buy the marketing rights to Monday Night Raw, and
that's where Fox was come from, because I had this in my notes, and you're going to me, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they were to buy the rights, thanks. If they were to buy the rights, they'd want to. It's more than likely that they'd want to make Raw 2 hours because something to do with news that they have at 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock over in America and things like that. So, and obviously because in America you've got an East Coast time and a West Coast time, there's obviously a lot of different issues there. But they'd want to make it a 2 hour show, which would be featured on the main Fox channel. Smackdown on Tuesday nights would more than likely be on Fox Sports 1, which is like their main sports channel that they have. So, which again would be 2 hours, and there's rumoured that they'll be paying $400 million, which is a good increase on the previous.
So basically, what they want to do, they want to pay the more money than USA or NBC are paying them, and they want to basically say, "We'll give you more money, and you don't have to do as much."
Yeah, and obviously, there's been rumours of Fox wanting to invest in WWE and buy shares of, ultimately buy the company.
And I know Stephanie said, I don't know if you've seen this as well, that potentially one day the McMahons might not own the WWE.
Yeah,
it's a
weird thing.
I can't see a world where a McMahon isn't involved, but I can see a world where they're just an executive and they're not the owner.
So obviously with this potential market, the rights bought by Fox, NBC have come out. Well, it's not a direct thing because NBC have come out and said that they want on the USA network they're going to have less adverts, which that's the rebuttal, isn't it? Which for us UK fans is a godsend.
Yay,
let's Raw and Smackdown at 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my god!
And you've got to sit there for like a 3-4 minute ad break.
Oh my god! It feels like a decade.
Yeah, it feels like ages. You get up, you walk around the house. You make something to eat. You just find
get a cup of tea.
Yeah, but
you kind of go. And the next match coming up is The Miz versus R-Truth, and you're just like, okay, I'll just turn around and sort of put my head down for the ad break. And the next thing you know, it's 6 in the morning and the sun's coming up, and you've completely fallen asleep.
Or what will happen is that you'll fall asleep and then suddenly the Nexus turn up and attack John Cena and CM Punk on Raw, and you realise you missed it, and you go back and you rewind it and you watch the whole thing like 15 minutes later.
Or you do what I do and got tired, you go home and you miss Goldberg beating Brock Lesnar in 90 seconds.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which I did do.
The things we do when we're UK wrestling fans.
Yeah, we're pretty short strong, but the long and short of it is that the reason that we are told by the executives in WWE more than once is that Raw and SmackDown Raw is 3 hours, is because of rights and because of advertising.
Yeah.
But if WWE can make as much money, if not more money, off a short show, do it. But it's the adverts in the middle. Yeah. That's what they make the more money as well.
We both agree that 2 hours is probably about the best wrestling in terms of showtime. Vince McMahon's come out and said in the past, he said that he thinks 90 minutes is the best viewing time for a wrestling show. Yeah, which is crazy when you think of it.
None of the shows on the network, not one of them are 90 minutes. But, NXT's an hour, which I guess it doesn't really have too much involvement, but everything else is over.
But if both shows would be 2 hours, they're equal, Raw and SmackDown.
Isn't Raw and SmackDown, isn't SmackDown technically about 90 minutes?
Yeah, obviously, but it's in terms of
what is time bell to bell. Tell everyone what you thought was the best formula if Raw went to 2 hours.
So if Raw goes to 2 hours, Raw and SmackDown both be even, both 2 hour shows, and I think at that point it's enough, it's good to have 2 hours. But what we find with SmackDown is that there's not enough time sometimes. So this is where you need to bring back Raw Talk and Talking Smack
every week
after the show, just to get over other storylines, and then you get more people coming to the network because they might miss something that may have happened on Raw Talk or Talking Smack, like which they used to do on Talking Smack. So
they basically recap the show.
Look, it's a long time coming. The rights aren't finished with NBC until autumn 2019, but obviously that has a direct impact on what happens with Sky Sports over here, because obviously we get it live. It'll still be shown on Sky Sports, and I think Fox want to buy Sky over in this country as well.
Deary me.
So it's all technicalities and everything like that. But obviously, I have a direct impact. If we're watching Raw from 1 till 3, it's better than watching Raw from 1 till 4:15.
Especially when you've got work the next day.
Yeah.
And you want to watch it live, which is what we want to do. So that's the bridge segment. Kieran, throw people into SmackDown for us.
Coming up next, SmackDown Live.
Welcome back to Dirt Sheet Mania SmackDown Live now, and we start with Charlotte Flair coming to the ring. Is it Dasha Fuentes?
Dasha Fuentes.
Dasha Fuentes. She's on the show a lot tonight.
She's on the show. She basically kicked off the show
and closed the show. She was on the aisleway.
Yeah.
She had a handful of segments backstage as well with interviews as well. So she's a very busy girl tonight.
Yeah, obviously, I think Renee Young, from what we believe, is on holiday, getting some dirty deeds done with Dean Ambrose.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, have a nice holiday, really. So basically, we start the show with a face-off between her and Ruby Riott to start the show. Basically, they're hyping the show, and they're hyping Fastlane for this Sunday. Ruby Riott versus Charlotte. Basically, Ruby goes over why. I don't know whether it was a coincidence or not, but, she does allude to the fact that she assembled the Riott Squad 2 weeks after Charlotte won the women's title on SmackDown.
First off, I just want to say that I like the opening, how they done it with Dasha in the ring, looking at the camera, basically announcing Charlotte Flair, announcing Ruby Riott coming out. I thought it was different. It was good. It was good that they looked in the camera, because usually WWE are like, don't look at the camera.
I think for an interviewer, it's a little different. If Renee is, or someone, or Dasha or Charlie are backstage and they're interviewing somebody, they'll look at the camera because that's the people at home and the crowd. Yeah. They're looking at them basically.
So I just, it's a different start to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah,
so I understand. I liked it.
The promos were great. I think we have heard Ruby talk a bit, but I think that was the most extensive we'd heard her speak. On the main roster.
Probably one of the best women talkers there, I'd say.
Yeah, I know she's a good wrestler. She's been around a hell of a long time. She's been wrestling a hell of a lot longer than Charlotte has. Yeah. A hell of a lot longer. But an extremely good promo, and I think that was I can see her being a babyface. She's a good heel, but she's been a babyface in NXT.
Yeah.
I like her as a babyface. That
was almost the thing with the call-ups after Survivor Series with the women, weren't it? Is that they were very weird call-ups for both to be heels.
Very. Especially Liv Morgan as a heel. Don't buy that.
She's always been like the pretty girl in NXT.
I could buy the other member of Riott Squad, Sarah Logan. I could buy her as a heel.
Yeah. But she comes straight from the Mae Young Classic. It was almost like there's no exposure on NXT.
No, absolutely fresh eyes. This promo, this segment ends in a smooth way and in an odd way. It's a smooth way because it makes sense, because the person that makes the save effective, because the whole of the Riott Squad get in the ring to beat her up. Dasha's left, they've kicked Dasha out of the ring, and they go to beat her up, and then Bobby Roode comes out.
Very, very weird.
Now
it was good
because it makes some sense. It does, because he is her tag partner.
Charlotte loved the look. Charlotte's look. She was like, "Oh, it's Bobby Roode."
She was more
delighted to see the glorious one.
She was gloriously delighted.
They're gonna have some babies tonight.
Woo! The matching robe gang, they looked happy to see each other, but for some reason that didn't deter the Riott Squad, because not only did they not beat her up, but they watched Bobby spin around for 90 seconds before coming down the aisleway.
It's such a glorious entrance, and they haven't probably seen it with their own eyes before. That they
makes no sense.
Wanted to watch it.
This makes no sense.
It doesn't. I hate it.
I liked it because it made sense, but I hated it because it didn't make any sense. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't.
Why didn't the Riott Squad just attack? Because Bobby Roode can't exactly get involved unless he's going to pull all three women off, and physically assault. I don't know if you've ever had three women try and fight over you before.
I wish,
but it's quite hard to.
Unless you count that time in a nightclub, but I think that's different. No. So no then.
She said no.
She definitely no, Kieran. No, yes, she said no. But yeah, it didn't make any sense at the same time. But it did make sense for the fact that they are tag team partners in the Mixed Match Challenge, and it does move nicely into the next part because Bobby was on comms for Jinder versus Randy. And again, spoiler: Jinder wins again. Randy can't beat him.
Randy can't beat Jinder.
Who knew that Jinder Mahal would be Randy Orton's Achilles heel? Yeah. Who knew it after all these years? If only 3MB knew it all those years.
It's still very, very weird how Jinder's not been inserted into this US title match.
But for me, that's more of a wait for Mania, because I think it will be at Mania.
Yeah.
And I think as well that also then plays into the Shane and Daniel Bryan storyline. I think there's kind of like a reason behind the madness, because everything points towards him should be in there, but then they're going to get accused of copying Raw because that's a triple threat match for Mania.
Yeah, SmackDown always gets accused of copying of Raw
because it's after.
Because it's on after.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If it was SmackDown first, I'm sure Raw would be copying SmackDown.
He should be in the match, no question. Yeah. He was the antagonist. He was the one that brought this together.
Exactly.
Really, he was. If anything, he booked a great match. And I'm really looking forward to Bobby versus Randy on Sunday.
I think it'd be a good little match.
The size difference is ridiculous.
It's crazy how big Randy Orton is.
And how tiny. I didn't realise Bobby was so tiny. Is Charlotte taller than Bobby?
I think.
Not to.
Charlotte is a legit 6-foot woman, right? I think
she's taller than me.
She's very leggy.
She is leggy.
Very leggy, but that was like she used to say that she had the genetics, didn't she? I think Charlotte's definitely bigger than Rick. So and Rick.
Yeah, she's taller than Ric Flair.
5'10",
and that's why Rick constantly says she's gonna be the best Flair.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
she might be. She's definitely athletically better than Rick was even at his heyday. We're gonna ramble as we do. But yeah, very strange the way this sort of came about. But anyway, Jinder beats Randy again. Little bit of I thought Bobby was going to cost this match into being a no contest because after I think Randy threw Jinder into him.
Yeah.
And then there was got up on the apron, bashing. I thought he was going to roll him up, but he got him into the Colossus and bang, 1, 2, 3, down for the 3 count. I'd love to see how many times Jinder's actually pinned Randy. Do some homework, Kieran. Find that out.
We'll find that out.
Even
he's definitely. I think he's got to be 4 now. Usually when you win the title, because you get 1 and you get 2 rematches. So but
then
3.
He pinned him in a 6-man tag when we watched SmackDown last year and in London. So he's pinned him a few times.
It's whether you count tag team matches.
I would.
Streaks.
Sami backstage with Kevin saying that everything is about him Sunday. Even watching this, I ain't buying it. I'm not pretending. I've written here, I'm not buying this at all from Sami. Mainly because I think Sunday is going to cost him all of it. But what did you buy it here, Kieran, or did you sort of?
It's been much of the same the last couple of weeks. Like teasing breakup, then they're together, then they're beating people up together, and then teasing another breakup, and then
when we get to the end of this show, and I think you said it earlier off air, the way you described it best between what they want to do between now and Mania in relation to Shane and Bryan as well.
Yeah,
we will talk about that later. In more length. Rusev and English are backstage, and they want revenge from Shinsuke Nakamura after Nakamura hurt poor Aiden English's voice.
Yep, Aiden couldn't sing.
He couldn't. His poor little voice.
Yes.
So sad.
Great little promo.
What do you think of Nakamura?
Nakamura can sing in English better than he can speak in English, which is very, very weird.
He's really confusing.
I mean, if I can suddenly speak Spanish and start singing in Spanish...
You won't be single for long.
No, I wouldn't be. No.
You really wouldn't.
No.
You really wouldn't. But there's a match for Fastlane.
Yeah.
Nakamura versus Rusev. Now, this is very much a filler feud for Nakamura, but it'll be I don't think it'll be a good match.
Nakamura needed a match. We've said before, I think we said last week, or maybe on the Elimination Chamber preview, I don't know, but I said that I'd rather see Shinsuke versus John Cena at Fastlane.
You did, but for the number 1 contendership on offer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Cena beats Shinsuke, gets added to the match. I think that would have been better for Shinsuke, give him a bigger opponent. But because Rusev is becoming so popular, I get why they've done this. Look, Shinsuke's going to win. It's definitely a filler match, but you got to get Shinsuke on the card. You got to get him on the card wrestling against someone.
When we do our show on Friday for our preview and our point system, it's a banker.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's a banker. Becky versus Carmella. We haven't seen Carmella wrestle on SmackDown.
I think it's since November. I'm sure I saw something around saying that
she was in the Rumble, wasn't she?
Yeah, but in terms of a wrestling match on TV,
she's not done a lot.
No.
I don't know.
She's almost a forgotten Money in the Bank.
Well, she did Mixed Match Challenge.
Yeah.
So she obviously she's
she did. Yeah.
If she is injured, I mean, things if she was injured, they've pulled loads of wrestlers out of that for being injured. That the starting lineup for that to what it is now is very different.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's not done much. So she's the forgotten woman.
So this match started all on Twitter basically, and Becky and Twitter, and I don't mind this because they had the video backstage.
Oh, they explained it, which is fine,
which was good, and it's the whole reason behind the words on the screen and things like that. I just think ultimately, and I don't know whether this is because she's not appeared on TV. I just don't think Carmella's working as a Money in the Bank briefcase holder. We've said that we could potentially see her cashing in at Mania on Charlotte or Asuka, but
I can't see it now.
I'd rather see her put it on, or the briefcase being put on the line.
Maybe that would be the ladder match.
Maybe.
I think
But
for the first...
give it to someone like Becky Lynch or Naomi. Or,
for the first person to ever cash in the Miss Money in the Bank, number one, it has to be successful.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a world where you can have the Miss Money in the Bank cash in and they not win.
Which is technically the first and the second.
Well, yeah, she is. She is, for all intents and purposes. If you count the first time Ellsworth won it. And now he's nowhere to be seen. So almost that storyline's kind of, I don't know, that she has no momentum. She has no buzz. She the only 2 matches she's wrestled, she's lost in the mixed match challenge with Big E and with this. It's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This match with Becky was a good little match.
No, it was good, but she lost.
Yeah.
And I know anyone that has the Money in the Bank loses.
Yeah, they usually do.
That is literally, pardon the phrase, a banker to lose if you've got the Money in the Bank. But for me, at the moment, if she beat Charlotte, I would be almost absolutely certain that Charlotte would win the rematch. Absolutely certain.
And the thing is, if she does cash in at WrestleMania,
or Sunday,
or Sunday, but if she cashes in at WrestleMania,
she could pin Riot on Sunday.
She could do. But then you're gonna have Carmella versus Charlotte versus Asuka. Doesn't sell.
And then Asuka, well,
but
she could be out the title picture by WrestleMania again.
Yeah, see, this is where I think maybe they should think about just getting the briefcase off her and giving it to Becky or Naomi or Natalya or even Ruby Riott. I think it'd fit Ruby Riott quite well.
I mean...
like, Becky's not really doing much. She's, like, again, treading water for a good while now. If you gave her the briefcase and then she cashed in on Charlotte or Asuka...
more believable.
The heel turn, so to speak.
Becky.
Give her something fresh to do.
Do you remember Becky's a heel in NXT?
Yeah, vaguely remember that.
It was before she...
before she went to the orange hair steampunk, innit?
That was the kind of like... I know it's like Edge had it for a long, long time, that long coat and the goggles and stuff. Remember when she came for that? Is that Fatal 4-Way? On NXT she came out? That was the arrival of Becky Lynch for me. So, yeah, very confusing. Why they're not pushing Carmella or doing anything with Carmella. Although she will be in a match Sunday. It will be Natalya and Carmella versus Naomi and Becky Lynch at Fastlane. I've written here in my notes, Kieran, can you please spell me pre-show? Because to me, just from looking at what we've got so far...
If you're saying pre-show, but I think it will end up being a tag team match between Breezango and Gable and Benjamin on the pre-show.
Yeah, that's true.
Because why the hell not?
No, make it, at least, both of them have 0.
Yeah.
Or the Ascension.
We've said before, the Elimination Chamber and this Fastlane pay-per-view, they're shows that WWE don't need.
Which is why we're watering back down to 12 instead of however many we've got now. 18, 19, whatever, it's a ridiculous number. We have a kind of a review of, why Cena was on Raw and not SmackDown this week. I'm not going to go over that again, but it is still ridiculous that he's not on the go show for Fastlane.
I mean, from what I've heard, Cena was a late addition to SmackDown last week, and I think maybe they wanted to see if they can bump the figures, the viewing figures of SmackDown
without having him on.
So, but obviously he may have had something that he was doing Tuesday night that was prearranged.
Nickelodeon or some film awards, or he's a very busy man. But this is what we mean. If you're going to go, you go. Or if you're going to stay, stay. Part-time's fine, but you're going to get questioned why you're not on shows, especially on go-home shows. Don't mind if he's not on, ones in between.
Or they could have just recorded a backstage segment on Raw for them to show on Tuesday night.
And have it,
just with a SmackDown logo in the background.
Dasher, come here. Change the light into blue, please. Have Cena do a backstage thing. Say he's not going to get involved in anything tonight. He's going to watch and pounce on Sunday. Perfect. Job done.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that, 60 seconds?
It's not even that, is it,
exactly.
Really?
Absolutely. We have... I should say now, we also have... Did you see the guy slip over outside?
Yes, very funny. I did pop for that.
Oh, I did. Did you see the little... thing they did on the network? I think it was on .com. Yeah.
I've heard it. I haven't seen it, but
he had a little interview. The guy who was interviewing him basically just said, you're basically like a mini internet sort of star for the first 15 minutes. Apparently, a lot of his family and his children were mocking him, and and then at the end of the little thing, Shelton Benjamin comes up, kind of stares at him, and then gives him a cuddle. And so Shelton Benjamin got on the show somehow.
Yeah, you got to find a way.
He found a way.
He
hugged. He was the support act to a slip-up camera guy. Yeah. That's what you've become, Shelton Benjamin.
It was funny. I wasn't expecting to see it, and obviously the commentary team are creasing as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He said the camera guy said that he is normally the the building shot guy. He's the one that goes outside, does a pan of the building, does a pan of like if you're downtown New Orleans, here's everything here. So
here's a picture of Big Ben, a big red bus.
Exactly. So he doesn't get to watch any of the show. No. Poor guy. And he heard it was on the Tron. He was like, "It's not on the Tron. Don't be stupid."
Yeah, they always kind of let's rip this guy.
Fair play. He seemed alright with it, to be honest. So fair play.
It was like when JBL slipped down the ramp on when he come out to his entrance before the show, and they showed it on SmackDown.
They did.
When he was doing his little Texas two-step.
His Texas two-step. Or when Vivian slips up on the... Bless Vivian. We move on to what we learn is the sort of the ending segment of the show. AJ Styles comes out basically, saying that this is the house that AJ Styles built. When walking towards, Fastlane, he doesn't care that he has 5 other people now, not just the 4. And we recap Cena's segment from obviously, like I said, on Raw as well. Dolph comes out. Now, we're told at this specific point by our commentary team that the match isn't happening now. This is our main event for later tonight. Obviously, spoiler, it does happen right now. But just before then, Dolph cuts a promo. Now, unfortunately, at the moment with Dolph, if you've heard one promo, you've heard them all. It's coherent, but it's rambling. It's passionate, but it doesn't really get to a point. It kind of goes round and round and round.
Ziggler's lost his way. When Ziggler was facing Miz for the Intercontinental title, when he put up his career on the line, that was his best work for a good time then. But ever since then, he's not really done much. And I don't know how you change Ziggler, because Ziggler's a great hand. He's a former champion. He can wrestle. He can cut a promo, but that's all he is. And if we're led to believe, he's recently signed a new contract, which is a good deal for him. And he basically turns up, gets to go home, gets told what to do, and it doesn't matter if he's going to be a champ. But he's the type of person that if suddenly SmackDown come down with a lot of injuries, they can go, right, Dolph, you're in the title picture because we know we can rely on you. Yeah. So, and that's what he's there for. And
I don't really know what Dolph does now.
No.
Does he have a match at Mania? I don't know. Andre the Giant?
He's enhancement talent.
Well, if you're led to believe.
I wouldn't say go as far as jobber. I don't know if it technically means the same thing, but
he's proven...
He's proven that
world champion.
If you want to beat a former world champion, you beat Dolph Ziggler. There you go.
When Corbin first came on SmackDown, he was...
Yeah, and Shinsuke and Bobby Roode.
He's like he's almost like a slightly more enhanced version of Heath Slater. Very trusted. Yeah. Very well. Very, very talented. But they know where they are.
Yeah.
Heath will have a job for life in that company because he knows his role, and he's never come above his station. He has titles. He had the best storyline coming out, the original brand split. Yeah. Brand split, the best storyline. And he got a t-shirt and tag titles off it.
Yeah, he did.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And a brilliant tag team partner.
Yeah.
The match happens now. Good match again. Great chemistry between the two until Sami and Kevin come out, completely ruin the match. They start to leave. Shane comes out and says, I could make a tag team match. Holla, holla. But I won't. Okay, what are you going to do then? And then he makes it a fatal 4-way, but then adds Baron Corbin and makes it a 5-way. Which
so basically, it's the original match, the original plan for Fastlane.
It is.
I don't really like this. Like,
tag would have been better?
Tag would have been... I know it would have been, another tag team match, but, that having Sami and Kevin versus even AJ, Dolph and Baron Corbin, a 2-on-3, plays into the storyline that Shane doesn't get on with Kevin and Sami. Having a fatal 5-way match with 5 participants of the 6 on Sunday, it just seems lazy. It just seems not needed. It's like, maybe they were thinking, maybe this is just a preview for Sunday. This is what you're going to get. We know we're going to get a great match on Sunday because you've got some tremendous wrestlers in that match. Cena and AJ can go 60 minutes against each other. Like Kevin and Sami have wrestled each other so many times. Ziggler's a great wrestler. Baron Corbin brings one
of the best NFL guys to transition.
And I just don't get why they thought they needed to do a fatal 5-way for this show. But it just seemed needless.
I mean, but aside from that, I agree with your points. To be honest, to some of them, it was a good match. Yeah, it gave us the taster of what we're going to have on Sunday. Just pure mayhem. Anyone can win.
AJ could lose his title without getting
Just
pinned.
the click of fingers, AJ could lose that WWE title. And for me, again, the most surprising factor of this match was the finish. So going into this, Sami, we were led to believe Sami wanted Kevin to win this match, to win every single match that they're in, to be fair, because he wants to lie down and help him win the title Sunday. He said earlier in the show he wanted to do that. And AJ was on the apron. He was beating up Sami. Kevin saves him, bangs AJ to the floor. So Corbin, AJ, and Dolph are all in the aisleway. And just as Sami's just sort of on his knees trying to get up, I'm thinking Sami's going to lie down and Kevin's going to walk over and pin him as a plan. And then that's going to happen again Sunday, or we're going to be led to believe that happened Sunday. But he didn't. Sami ran towards Kevin in the corner. Huluma kick 1, 2, 3. Sami wins. And I think they kind of pulled the trigger too early. I know you said that as well.
I think they pulled the trigger too early. Could it be a fake out for Sunday? Maybe.
And then they actually do it.
And they actually do it to just, like a double cross or triple cross, so to speak, potentially. I just think with this whole Brian, Shane, Sami, Kevin thing, that they don't know what they're doing, or they've gotten too far. Obviously Brian wasn't on the show.
No, he wasn't there at all this week.
And they've gone, well, okay, maybe we need to do something for Kevin and Sami, and tease a breakup, but actually go through with it. Sami would almost be the babyface in this, because I think Kevin Owens is always hated so much in terms of the casual fan.
Yeah.
That Sami would be the babyface. But the promo that he had with Dasher at the end was riveting. He dug down. It was like he was a passionate babyface. That's what it seemed like.
If he'd just said, "Oh, here, Sami, learn these, and I want you to cut a promo in a minute for me, or 2 minutes," fine. But the fact that he's just come out of a match, his heart is racing, he's sweating, he's worked up. He's nailed on what they needed to do, and then it's like, right, camera, microphone, go. Yeah. It's like it means more. You can feel it in him, can't you?
Yeah.
And maybe some of that was. Yeah, he probably believed in most of it.
I'm not saying this is ultimately Sami turning on Kevin. I still think there's...
It looks like it.
But it looks like
it.
I still think there's something different's going to happen.
Wait for the story to pan out.
Yeah, wait for the story to pan out.
But do you think they're bouncing... I think you said it earlier. They're bouncing between Kevin and Sami because they don't know what to do with Shane and Brian.
Exactly. At the end of the day, look, we're led to believe that Brian's not wrestling, right? And
he
hasn't been cleared.
Fine.
So they can't...
Shane can wrestle.
There's no... Yeah, Shane can wrestle. But, how Shane, unless Shane's having a 2-on-1 handicap match at Mania or something like that. But how can Daniel Bryan get his comeuppance? He can't. No. You can't hit him, you can't punch, you can't have a wrestling match against him. So I think they've just gone, well, we can't get Bryan to do it, so maybe we'll just get Sami to do it. Maybe the tag team match at Mania will be Shane McMahon and Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. But you never know. Or maybe Daniel Bryan's in Kevin Owens' corner and Shane's in Sami's corner.
Maybe that's how we're going to do it.
We don't know. We don't know what's happening with this thing, because this has to finish at some point.
Shane and Brian have to do something in a corner or something at Mania. What that will be is we don't know. It's so difficult to tell. But little snippet, just something I realised. Did you know that pretty much for the entire year of this WrestleMania to WrestleMania, that AJ and Shane have been involved in some form or fashion?
Yeah.
Which I think is in some way of heels, then kind of allies, then a whole year.
Yeah.
Of Shane and AJ.
But we can criticise SmackDown. I don't think SmackDown.
But it doesn't feel like it's been dragged though.
It doesn't feel like that, and it has interwoven with each other. SmackDown does miss something for me.
Talking smack.
Probably is talking smack. It probably is, but SmackDown doesn't seem to be as good as Raw for the last year. I'd say the first
last few months it's not been up there.
I'd say the first year up until Mania, SmackDown was a better show than Raw. Yeah. I'd say in the last year, Raw has definitely overtaken it.
But I still think they have the most compelling storyline in Brian Shane without actually doing anything.
Yeah, but where's it leading? Brian can't wrestle, and that's ultimately what it's got to be. Brian has to have a match. It just doesn't make sense.
And you know what? I think that's a great place to leave it, because we are as clueless and in the dark as everybody else. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of Dirt Sheet Mania. Please, 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 please subscribe, follow us, watch the YouTube, go over to SoundCloud where all of our shows will be coming out. YouTube this Friday we'll be dropping our Fast Lane preview show for Sunday. The director, thank you very much for joining me today, Kieran.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Just remember, Twitter is at @DirtSheetMania, and if you're gonna join in the conversation, use #DSM Wrestling.
Thank you very much for tuning in today, guys, and we'll see you Friday. Bye bye.